Hi friends, we are starting the vlog in my classroom this morning. I had so much trouble getting out of bed this morning, so I look kind of like a slob. Go ahead and vlog because it's the eclipse today, and I'll probably see if I can get any footage of that. If we're able to go outside, it's supposed to rain, but it's eclipse day. Yay. Okay, I'm keeping dinner super basic tonight, and we're making pasta with pasta sauce and some turkey sausage. So I'm going to assemble all this. I have really been trying to eat more mindfully and a little bit more nutrient rich. And when I was planning my meals this week, I was going to make this all with chickpea pasta, but I made a meal with chickpea pasta last week and I just can't do the texture. I can do protein pasta, but unfortunately I don't have any, and I'm trying to not mindlessly spend. So we're going to just use what I have, and I'm using turkey sausage, so it's a little bit healthier than otherwise. I had intended to go for a workout today, but when I got home, my garbage disposal is acting funny. This time it was totally a me problem. Y'all who have been around, you know my appliances break on me, and a lot of the time it's not my fault. The garbage disposal was my fault. I had a mind blank moment and I put something down the garbage disposal that should not have gone down the garbage disposal. I spent about an hour trying to fix it, which was my workout time, and I could not fix it, so I had to put a maintenance request in. That's okay. We'll get back to working out tomorrow and it will all be fine. I am wearing my new favorite shirt, which is my NSYNC shirt, but none of that is what y'all are here for. You're here for books. So I'm gonna finish making dinner, and in a little bit, I'll tell you what I'm reading, but for y'all, that'll be like 3 seconds. So hold tight. I've got 2 books on the agenda this week. And the first book is my physical book of the week, which is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is my first Robert Jackson Bennett book, but I'm very, very excited about it because I hear that it is like Sherlock Watson or Poirot and Hastings, but in a more fantasy-based world. And I did start this last night. I'm only 16 pages in, so like not enough to really have an opinion about it. My cat likes to start crying the second I film. I started this last night and I'm really, really liking it so far, which is a good thing because I am in kind of just a friend fantasy Discord group, and we all started reading this around the same time, and a few people are really liking it, but most people are feeling a little bit lukewarm about it, and they're feeling like they can't really attach to the characters. I don't mind knowing that up front, especially because I know it's reading more like a classic mystery, and I know the way that I feel about characters in those books. So we open up with our main character, Denius Cole, I think is his name, and he is sent to investigate a murder that has happened in this big estate. He, though, is not actually the investigator. He is working for the investigator who doesn't leave her home. And so he has this very interesting task of going and remembering everything perfectly so that he can report back to the actual investigator. But things so far are very plant-based. Like the walls are made out of leaves and there's mushrooms in every room that purify the air, but it's not like fairies. Like they're real people living in this manor, and a tree has just grown through a person. And so that is what he is investigating. It is reading so much like any of the Poirot books where Hastings is the narrator, and I am loving it. I am dying for it. I love it so much. So far this seems like it is going to be right up my alley. And then for all of my workouts this week, I'm listening to an audiobook because I have book club this week on Sunday, and we are reading Anyone by Charles, I believe his name is Soleil, but it might be Soul, I'm not sure. Here's what the cover looks like. And this is a sci-fi thriller, and I'm only a few chapters into this one as well. I have about 7 hours of the audiobook left, and like I said, this is going to be mainly what I listen to while I walk this week on the treadmill. But we have 2 timelines here. We're following, I guess, present day, And there is a woman who is working in the science field, and she works from a barn on her property. She's married and they have a little baby. And so she's doing an experiment in her lab when all of a sudden there is a flash. And when she wakes up, she realizes that she has switched bodies with her husband. The other perspective that we are following is years and years and years in the future, when this body swapping science has become a norm in society, and we're kind of following somebody who is working on the dark side and the illegal side of this body swapping. And there's definitely like a more action thriller aspect of that so far, but I don't know where we're headed as far as the plot goes. But I really like seeing the dual timelines, because we have the excitement of a new discovery with body swapping, but then we have and all the repercussions that come from it. So it's not my normal genre of book, but I think that it could work for me. I'm still a little bit undecided on that one, but we will see how I feel at the end of the week. So that's what I'm reading this week. As far as the school day, the eclipse was a lot of fun. Y'all saw the footage. We had a very, very cloudy day on top of not being in the main line of totality, but the kids thought it was really cool, especially like just getting to leave class and put on the glasses and go outside. Of course, middle schoolers are going to think anything that gets them out of class is fun. But then, because it happened at the end of the day, my students were not focused. And so I just put on a live stream of what it looked like in Arkansas for them to watch. Also, my stepmom was in Arkansas today, and my dad sent me a few pictures that she took. So I'll put those right here. So those are really, really cool. But I'm really excited to just kind of sit down and enjoy a mashup of my two favorite genres and eat my pasta and cuddle with my cats, because Sherlock is down here and he is just wanting all the pets right now. Hey guys, it's Tuesday evening and bringing you the reading updates. As far as The Tainted Cup goes, I'm only 40 pages into this bad boy because I get so tired at night, and y'all are probably very tired of hearing me say that. But I can say that right now it is absolutely 100% the type of book that was written for me to enjoy. It's very classic mystery, but we're stuck in this fantasy, very plant-based, organic matter type world. It's very hard to explain the world. Our narrator just feels so much like Hastings in a Poirot novel, and I love those books to death. So that is just bringing me so much joy. And we have also met the investigator, who is very much a hermit that doesn't leave her home, and she is so weird, like in the best possible way. She is so weird. Her name is Anna. We're not really sure how old she is. She's like late 40s, early 50s perhaps. And she's like Poirot in that he likes to sit back in his wingback armchair and let his little gray cells do the work and think about the mystery at hand and solve it with the information given. If you have all of the information, you should be able to solve the mystery, right? Except she just takes it to such new levels. She wears a blindfold. I still haven't figured out why she wears a blindfold, and she is just like crazy. She was basically holding this soldier hostage and questioning him when our narrator arrived to her house. But not only that, the narrator is so interesting because the way that he remembers all the details to report back to Anna is because of the kind of magic, or one of the kinds of magic, that exists in this world. And it's based on associating smells with memories. It's so cool, and it's harder to describe than that. But essentially all that's happened is the main character, he goes to investigate the murder at the big estate. He finds the officer with the tree growing out of his body. He uses his little smell memorization magic, and he goes back and reports everything to Anna. Haven't gotten any farther than that. Absolutely in love with the writing style. A lot of people in my Discord group were saying that it felt detached and that they couldn't connect to the characters, but as of right now, I'm not having that experience. I'm absolutely loving it. And then the book that I'm listening to this week is Anyone by Charles Soule. I don't know. I am 7 chapters into this, and I think I have like 5.5 hours left, and I'm enjoying it just fine. I don't want to like give you the idea that I'm not liking it. It's just not my typical genre, and so I'm going into this like not knowing what I'm going to get. And I told you earlier that we're following like 2 timelines, and one is basically the discovery of this science that can allow body swapping, or like mind swapping into another body, cognitive swapping. I don't know exactly how you would explain it. But then in the future, we're following society that has now integrated this science. And I personally am enjoying the discovery timeline a lot more. but I don't know what's to come. That could change. And I'm just finding the modern, like we've integrated this science into society chapters a little bit harder to follow, but that also might be because I'm listening to it on audio. But I'm about to go work out. My garbage disposal got fixed, and so I don't have to stress about that this evening. I can just go and do my little workout and listen to some more of Anyone. And then when I get back, I'll shower and I'll read, and it will be just lovely. We are supposed to be getting some pretty horrible weather here in the Southeast tomorrow. We got an email from our boss being like, hey, just a heads up, we're probably going to have a normal day of work tomorrow, but we're monitoring the weather, and daycares are closed. So if you have kids in daycare and need to stay home, like, let me know so I can get subs. So it's shaping up to be kind of a crazy day tomorrow. And I'm not going to say that I would not be sad if the work day got cut short tomorrow, because I could stay home and read this book. I'm just sitting in my living room, sprints with Keisha, and we are under a tornado warning. So I still don't know if I'm going to work tomorrow, but I know that a tornado is about to come through. So hopefully I'm still here soon. I'm just gonna hunker down and read The Tainted Cup, I guess. Today was just a weird day, y'all. Like, with the weather, like half the kids weren't at school today, but I still had to teach because like state testing is coming up. Anyway, I did read a little bit during my planning block today, and I'm home. It's 4:30. I have already had dinner. I'm so tired because literally last night I just kept waking up and being like, maybe the district posted something and we don't have to go to work tomorrow. And then I would check, and then I would go back to sleep, and it kept happening over and over again. So I am exhausted, but I am about to go shower. Hey, baby. You say hey? No? You don't want to say hey? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go shower, and then I'm going to get in the bed and just read until I'm too tired to read. It's so interesting, though, because everyone in Discord doesn't really like this book. And I have not hit a point where I don't like it yet. So I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Hey guys, I thought I would give a Thursday morning update rather than wait until after school, because I'm always so tired by after school. So I was exhausted yesterday. I just like never felt like I caught up with myself during the school day, and I thought I was going to get in bed and crash last night, but some of my friends in Liv's Discord group were doing Discord sprints, and that actually really motivated me. And I read The Tainted Cup, and while it's not like the fastest book I've ever read, I'm still having a really, really good time. It's just more dense, and so it is taking me a little bit longer to read. But over the course of those sprints, I read 70 pages, and I'm on part 3 now. And guys, I am still eating this book up. I love the different personalities. I love the different characters. Our main character, Din, or Dionysus, I think I'm saying his name correctly. I just like have the biggest soft spot for him right now. He talks about when he tries to read and how the letters wiggle and move around on the page. And I'm wondering if that is supposed to be like a learning disability, or he has trouble reading and he gets made fun of because of it, but he's actually really, really smart. And his intelligence just doesn't manifest in the fact that he can read well. But he's a very smart character, and he's very inquisitive and curious, and he asks all sorts of questions to help broaden his knowledge and understanding of the world. And right now, where we are in the book, Anna, the investigator, and Din have had to travel to a different spot in the Empire. And something I haven't even touched on yet is they live within this ringed empire, and the further out you live, the closer you live to the water. And during the wet season, you are in danger of these giant creatures called leviathans breaking through the protective walls, and that's kind of what's happening. They've moved to an outer ring to further their investigation of this murder because more murders have happened. And not only are we dealing with trying to investigate, but we're also dealing with hoping that these leviathans don't break through the walls. So the world is super weird, super intense and creative, but also we have a murder mystery, which I just eat up. I love murder mysteries. So there is nothing about this book that I am not liking yet. Fingers crossed it stays that way. And I'm also about 50% through Anyone, and I still have pretty similar feelings about it. I'm still really enjoying the before timeline when we are looking at the inventors of this technology and the legal repercussions of, do we keep it a secret? Do we try and develop it? How do we push this out into the world without people coming at us? But then there is the future tech aspect of it and what it looks like in the world that has fully accepted this as legal technology. I'm starting to like that timeline more, but I still feel like some things that are happening are a little bit disjointed and hard for me to follow. And that might just be because I'm listening to it on audio and not reading it right in front of me. And sometimes when there's more to follow, it can be challenging when you're just listening to it. I will say I'm being like super non-critical of the writing style. To me, it sounds like a good book, but sometimes, again, when I listen on audio, I don't really pay attention to the quality of the writing. I'm just listening to a story. So it's Thursday, book club is Sunday. I think I'll definitely finish it by then. I'm planning on going for another walk after work today where I can listen at 3 times speed when I'm walking. I don't know why that is because I can't listen to this book 3 times speed at any other point. I'll listen to a good bit of that today and then read some more Tainted Cup this evening. I'm gonna try and get some house stuff done when I get home as well. This vlog hasn't been very entertaining. I haven't done a lot this week, but I'm also really happy with what I'm reading. So hopefully you guys are okay with that as well. But I gotta get dressed and go to work. This is related to reading, but also not. I was sitting in my classroom on my planning block and Elliot Brooks has just uploaded a review of the Tainted Cup. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm reading. Let me watch the video because it was spoiler free. And so while I'm watching it, I get a call from my assistant principal and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Even though my assistant principal is super nice. And he said, are you in your classroom? I need to come talk to you for a minute. And then he said, it's nothing bad. So I was like, okay, well, at least there's that. And then he comes in with the superintendent. But it also still wasn't bad because my district does this thing with staff called you got caught doing something good and people can write you a positive referral. So somebody wrote me a positive referral and I got a super soft blanket that feels like a sweatshirt from my district. We're pirates. And I got a gift certificate to one of my favorite restaurants. So sometimes life is good. But I'm going to finish watching this video and maybe read a little bit. And then I'm going to teach some line of best fit, which I think is really fun because I love math. We used to update from this location a lot last year. But I just finished my workout. Basically, I did some resistance band workouts. I used to go to powerlifting classes in another life, and I really loved deadlifting. That was my lift. And while I'm not doing it with barbells right now, I did figure out how to do it with resistance bands, and it's obviously not as challenging as it once was, but I feel like I did get a good little hamstring workout and quad workout. 45 minutes on the treadmill and just kind of did some walk run intervals, which felt really nice. I'm properly sweaty right now, and I also listened to quite a good bit of Anyone. I only have an hour and a half left of that book. Book club is Sunday, today is Thursday, so I am well on track to finish it. The 2 timelines are starting to converge a little bit more. And something that I had predicted was going to be happening in the future timeline that was relatively connected to the before timeline, I think I'm putting the pieces together of how those 2 things fit. So I feel like a smart cookie, but also, was it obvious or was it not obvious? I don't know. So I'm curious to hear what the other people at book club think about that, about whether it was obvious to them or not. But I'm really excited to go shower and get under my new blanket that I won today at school and read some more Tainted Cup because that is where my heart is lying right now. I definitely want to be back in that mystery world. The Leviathans in that book are pretty cool. I want to know more about them, like what exactly they are, because we're just told that they're these great giant beasts right now that are like huge, but I want to know more about them. And in order to know more about them, I'm gonna have to go shower and get ready for bed. The pool is right outside the fitness center, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for it to open. I feel like this week's vlog has been so boring. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't done anything. I've had a rough week at work, but y'all are here for the books mostly, I guess, so hopefully that is still entertaining. I am so happy to be home on Friday night. It was one heck of a week at work. So much stuff that just teachers deal with that people don't think of when they think of teachers. But it is Friday night. I am home. I just stuck an energy drink in the freezer so that by the time I get out of my shower, it will be ready. And I'm gonna sit here in my bed and read The Tainted Cup till I fall asleep. And then I am so looking forward to the rest of the weekend where I will finish these 2 books so I can move on to something else. I did update my reading journal last night, but I didn't do anything fancy to it, so I probably won't show it off until the end of the month. I did not do it at all for March. I did not do anything for March. So I just did a quick little update last night to make it worth it. And then tomorrow I'm going to film my Q1 wrap up. So, you know, that could be exciting. This thing collects fur so bad. So I just pointed it out. So now you probably all see it, but ew, I need to come lint roll that. Hi friends, I've just woken up on Saturday morning and I have had a lovely morning reading in bed. I still have quite a bit to go. And I know y'all probably are like, you've been reading that book all week. Why does it look like you haven't made any progress? Let's just be realistic here, okay? I get home from work. I have gone and worked out a few days this week. And while I'm working out, I do listen to my book on the treadmill. So I've almost read that whole book as well. But my friends, if you haven't garnered already, teaching middle school is a very tiring job, especially this week, especially in the spring. And I think my best reading night, as far as physically reading this week, I read 70 pages. I'm just tired. I'm just tired on a weeknight. And so I get a lot of my reading done on the weekends. So it might look like I haven't read a lot, and by some comparison games, I haven't. But like I always say, we are not here to play comparison games. We're here to enjoy books. And I am enjoying this book, and I am enjoying it at my own pace. And I'm not trying to be like defensive because that would be silly, but just to like justify my reading pace. You know, sometimes you just feel the need to. I'm going to continue reading this today. I probably could finish this today if I stay focused and off of my phone. But I also do need to film a video today, and I need to go to the Dollar Tree and figure out what I'm bringing to book club tomorrow because I don't know yet. I just wanted to get on here and update y'all that this is how I'm spending my Saturday morning, just with some reading. And I'll be back when I have a significant update to give you. Good morning, y'all. I feel like you have barely seen me put together a single time this week. It's Sunday now, and I've got a couple of little things to do, but I am going to give you a reading update because I finished both books for the week. I finished The Tainted Cup, and I finished Anyone by Charles Soule. So when I get back from my errands, I will definitely fill you in on those books. Spoiler alert, I really loved one, and one was just okay. You'll probably can figure out which one is which based on the rest of the updates throughout the week. But it's book club day when we're going to discuss Anyone. And it's going to be a brunch theme. And so I'm going to go pick up some cinnamon rolls and get those made. It's like almost 10 o'clock right now, and book club is at 12:30. So I have plenty of time to get my stuff done. I've got a lot of laundry to fold. I just drove down to take my trash out, and then I was going to go run my errands, and I just realized I left my Starbucks card in my apartment. But I have a Starbucks gift card, so I'm going to go treat myself to something fancy at Starbucks. Last time I went, I got a lavender latte, and I love lavender, as in I love the smell of lavender, but I have learned I do not like it in drinks because it tastes like laundry to me. So I don't know what I'm going to get yet. Iced chai is always an option. I don't think Starbucks still has raspberry syrup, but when they did, a white chocolate mocha with raspberry was one of my favorites, but an iced chai does sound really, really good today. So we're gonna go run all of these errands, come back, get some stuff done. I did post a video. I meant to premiere it for today, but y'all, I'm terrible at remembering to like schedule my YouTube videos. And so it went up at like 11 o'clock last night, but it's whatever. It's just a really, really lovely day. I have a lot of things to do. Book club is the first priority. And then once we finish that, we'll wrap up the vlog. I'm back from Starbucks. The line was forever long, but I got an iced chai with oleato cold foam with 2 pumps of brown sugar. Now, I like an iced chai. Everything else I've never tried before. So taste test time. Ooh, slaps. Bon appetit for book club. I don't know about y'all, but I love orange cinnamon rolls. And then we did some classic cinnamon rolls. I had one cinnamon roll get real wonky and fall apart. So I taste tested it to make sure, you know, that it was okay for everybody. But it's time to go. Guys, it's the end of the week. It's Sunday evening and it's time to wrap up this vlog. The sunshine is coming in from over there, so if the lighting is off, we gotta roll with it. My makeup is also looking crusty at the end of the day, but y'all aren't here for a beauty tutorial. You're here to hear how I felt about the books I read. So let's talk about Anyone by Charles Soule first. I think his name is Soule. It might be Soule. This book was wild. I know I've touched on it a little bit, but basically to give you the rundown again, we are following a girl named Gabby White, and she is a researcher who runs experiments from her home where she and her husband and her infant live. And she is basically funded by somebody giving her money in order to try and find a cure for Alzheimer's. But what accidentally happens is that she invents a technology that allows people's consciousness to flash into other bodies. You can imagine that this is pretty crazy. And she wants to keep this technology for herself because obviously it's a huge discovery, but the problem is she signed a contract when she agreed to be privately funded. We are also following a timeline 25 years in the future, following a girl named Anami, I think it's Anami. And she is living in a world where this flash technology is completely normalized and everybody uses it. Kind of think of like how the first smartphone was invented and people were like, it could go somewhere. And then, 25 years later, we're all carrying around these teeny tiny technological devices that can do so many things. And the flash works for good and it works for bad. There's definitely a dark side to it. And Anami is kind of working both sides. She has a job in like normal everyday regulating of the technology, but she also runs with the dark web, which basically allows people to hop into your body and use it however they wish, and you get paid for that. And you can imagine that could have some pretty serious consequences. And so we're following this timeline as Anami is trying to get money for some calls. We're not quite sure until much later in the book, but she gets found out. So lots of drama, lots of plot twists, lots of connections, lots of action. And it is not something that I would normally pick up. I'm gonna spin y'all around, hold on. Sorry, trying to hold you guys up was making my arm hurt. It's not something that I would have normally picked up, and I am glad that I read it, but when I finished it, I was like, you know what? If I hadn't been reading this for a book club, I think I wouldn't have finished it. So I can't rate it highly, although I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the conversations and the questions of philosophy and ethics that this book brought up. So I settled on a 3.5. It was good, it was enjoyable, it was definitely like a deeper book, but it's also, like I said, not one or even a sci-fi that I would normally consider picking up. Book club discussion was great. Only 3 out of 5 of us had read it. However, everybody seemed to enjoy the discussion, so that's great. And then I also finished The Tainted Cup, which I loved. I'm so happy to say. I ended up giving The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett 4 stars. It definitely read as if Agatha Christie had a little bit more of a dirty mouth and a dirty mind in some spots, but she had written it into a fantasy world because, again, I said this already, but Den feels so much like Hastings if you have read Agatha Christie. I also really appreciated this character because he does seem to have some sort of learning disability where he can look at letters and they just kind of wobble and he can't read them. As a teacher who sees people struggle with reading constantly, I really liked that representation in the book, and it turns out to have like a much greater meaning, and I really liked Den. I liked his character a lot. He gets bullied for his learning disability. He gets questioned, he gets second guessed, and he keeps trucking along. Also really liked the character of Anna, who is the investigator that Den is working for. And she felt very similar to Hercule Poirot in some ways. Hercule Poirot likes to sit back in his chair and think about all of the evidence. And that is definitely what Anna does in a more extreme way. She likes to be blindfolded. She likes to block out all external stimulus, and she likes to think about the facts that she has been given. The difference is she does not go to investigation sites. That is Den's job. He goes and he has a really cool magic that helps him remember everything, and he reports back to Anna, and she draws the conclusions. The mystery was great. It was really fun seeing all of the pieces come together, as well as how the fantastical world played into this book. The world itself is just really interesting, and I could sit here for a really long time trying to describe it to you, but the main thing you need to know is that there are these magical, dangerous creatures called leviathans that live in the ocean, and during the wet season they can come crashing through the gates that have been built to keep them out, and they can destroy a city. That sounds like it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it does play into it, and I think it's going to play into the series even more in the future. But the reason why I didn't give it 5 stars is because when you're reading a mystery, you like to have a deep enough understanding of what's going on around you and like a deep enough background knowledge to be able to piece all of the clues together. And when you're thrown into a fantasy world, you're learning so much about the world as you go that you don't have much background knowledge other than what you've been told and what you're expected to remember in a short time frame. And so it was hard to piece all of the clues together as you read because you don't have this full understanding of the world and the situations that you're thrown into. So while some aspects of this I could piece together as I went, a lot of it I was like, huh? What's happening? What's a regent's key? Huh? But it all came together in the end, and I didn't have to have quite as deep of a knowledge of everything as I thought I did. There was character development, there were relationships that formed, there was a really sweet moment. I can't even go there. There's betrayals, there's obviously murder, and I just really, really enjoyed it, and it makes me want to pick up Robert Jackson Bennett's Foundry Side series, so I might look into that in the future once I've cleared some of my TBR off and read through some of these series that I am currently working on, because your girl is behind on the series for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and go so that I can start another weekly reading vlog, duh. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, why don't you leave me a cup emoji? Any cup emoji of your choosing, drink emoji, whatever, for the tainted cup, obviously. As always, guys, my social media is linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everybody that is a silent watcher and doesn't comment on the videos. I see you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to everybody that comments and likes my videos. It really does help support my channel, and it makes me feel so much closer to the community, and I'm so, so grateful. But I'll see you guys in another video soon. Bye, guys.